the planning board meeting for the town of East Fishkill for February 18th, 2025. Will you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and we'll do a roll call, starting with John.
John Giovanoli.
Lori G.
John Eichman.
Richard Campbell.
Ed Miyoshi.
Sarah Bledsoe.
Okay, the upcoming meeting dates are March 18th, 2025, and April 15th, 2025. We have minutes from two meetings, the first being our meeting of January 21st, 2025. Could I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And then the joint public hearing that we did with the town board on January 30th, 2025. Could I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The other little bit of early business we need to do is we have changed some of the upcoming planning board meeting dates for 2025. I'll read those off. June 12th, 2025, July 17th, 2025, September 18th, October 30th, and November 20th. Could I have a motion to approve those new dates?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. First item on the agenda is Landmark Union, and I'll start by asking for a motion to declare lead agency.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I guess we'll hear from the applicant and then take it from there.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Eddie Del Vecchio from the firm of Beatty Padavano on behalf of the applicant this evening. So nice to see everybody again. It's a lot warmer in here. We're back, as you know. Thank you for declaring lead agency. We are scheduled to be before the zoning board next week for variance approval, or variance consideration, I should say. We do need a negative deck on SECRA, as well as our referral over to the zoning board in order to continue our journey through the land use approval process. I have with me our project engineer, should the board have any questions. We did receive a review letter I think it was this morning, or from the engineering group. Just one comment of substance on it that we will address with them. It should not be a problem.
This was the letter from HVEA, I think?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So are there any questions or comments by board members? Any questions or comments from our professional staff?
Can you just remind me the square footage of the building?
Okay, I have to, about 3,300 square feet.
Okay, just the neg deck will need to reflect that because I wasn't 100% certain of the square footage. So in there's a space that we'll just have to include in the neg deck, the 3,300 square foot.
So say that again for me, please.
3,300 square feet for the neg deck in the project description.
So I just want to confirm the actual number for you.
Okay, that's great.
That's plus or minus. There's a couple other.
Great.
Not sure I see where that is, but that's all right. Okay. Any questions or comments from our fire advisory group?
We did not see any revised plans with regard to the turning radius around the back corner of the building. I don't know where they're at with that.
Let's see what he says.
Are you able to respond to that question about the turning radius around the building?
I didn't hear it, but
When we last met, we had a question about the turning radius around the back and continuing the driveway along the I guess, northern side. When we talked to your fire protection gentleman, he suggested you want to keep that kind of green space, but maybe use it in the paving blocks.
yes, we agreed to put in pervious pavers or the paving blocks, I call them, they look like
Yep.
Coke can holders.
Right.
But yes, we agreed to do that, and that'll allow for the turning radius to happen.
Okay, because we didn't see any revised plans to that effect, so that's why I'm asking.
Yep, I can,
I could probably see it.
Yeah, that was a comment from HVA that they have to submit those turning paths.
You have to submit it.
We can provide the chart. It's already done, it's just, I don't know if it was lost in translation.
Has to be part of the plan set.
Well, that's part of the plan, so yeah, we can do that too.
Thank you.
and the building square footage is 4,153, 4,153.
Okay, very good. Well, then, if there are no other questions or comments, I'll proceed to the negative declaration.
And then we have to also set a public hearing for that.
Right.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Got it. In any particular order, or, right, got it. All right, negative declaration dated February 18th, 2025. This is for Landmark Union, parens, Chase Bank, close parens. It's an unlisted action. And several different environmental issues were identified as relevant, including number 1, land use and zoning, number 2, visual character, number 3, historic and archaeological resources, number 4, plants and animals, number 5, traffic and transportation, number 6, other. And with all of these, with the preamble that the proposed action results in the development of a bank in the B2 Commercial District on the former William Tell property, none of these areas are expected to result in any significant adverse impacts to land use, zoning, or public policy. And the number 5, traffic and transportation, since the applicant is still working with the New York State DOT, they will be getting those approvals, and with those approvals, the proposed action would not be expected to result in any significant adverse impact to traffic and transportation systems. So with that, could I have a motion to approve the negative declaration?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and then we need to set a public hearing for you. I think our next meeting is March 18th, 2025. If that's something that will work for you from a scheduling standpoint.
Yes, that would be fine, thank you.
So may I have a motion to schedule a public hearing for the applicant for March 18th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, very good. So you'll be going back to the zoning board, and then you'll come back before us for a public hearing?
Yes, that would be the intent, and we'll,
Okay.
should be able to have the plan set updated before we return to the board.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Just
Thank you.
make sure you check in with Jackie as soon as possible, because you'll have to get your notices out for the public hearing relatively quickly.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is Stormville Square. With Stormville Square, we do need to declare lead agency, so may I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And now a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Good evening.
Good evening. Just get this up here.
She's thinking. Brian Stokoza, Dane Stokoza Engineering. We're here tonight for the Stormville Square application. This application, since we have a public hearing, has been in front of the board for a number of years with various different approvals. And based upon the site, the applicant has come back in front of the board. Originally, the last time the board saw this project, it was a 36,000 square foot, 2-story climate-controlled building. Based upon building costs and looking at market analysis, they just decided to take a step back and look at the site from a more economical standpoint. So we've revised that layout to show a 21,000 square foot, single-story building, all one level with access all around the site. The site will be on its own central water system. There's one existing well right now that serves the existing retail building in the front that has a pizza parlor, liquor store, and a coffee shop. As part of our original approvals, we had a new entrance put in that was approved by the New York State DOT. That's been installed, the permit's been closed out. So right now, we're working on the balance of the site, which is the rear of the site. The building will be retail and office space. And when we were at the last meeting, I believe in October, we were in front of you guys, we had permission to put in a retaining wall along the back side of the property. The retaining wall's been installed, fence has been established on top of the wall for fall prevention. And now we're kind of just focusing in on approvals for the actual building and coordinating that with town engineer and health department. We've received approval to drill a second well on site, which will supply the new building and offer support for the building in the front. For sewage disposal, the applicant is working with the town engineer and the engineering department to put a pump station at the intersection or near Route 216. That effort will be coordinated with the health department and the engineering department. So the thought process is to have that pump station positioned that it could offer support to surrounding parcels in the near future if it ever came to that. It'll support the existing building and it'll support the proposed building. So right now we're just kind of working out the details for that, but ultimately that pump station will discharge to, it's acting funny. It'll discharge to the Four Corners sewer treatment plant, so it'll be going down Route 216, going down Phillips Road and in Persimmon into the sewer plant. Obviously, we'll have to coordinate that with Four Corners as part of a separate action. So we would be back in front of the board to detail that actual connection. But for right now, it's in concept, and we're just working out details on that system. But overall, 21,000 square foot building, office retail, stormwater is underneath the parking lot. We have landscaping around the site to protect our neighbors to the south. There's a residential component along Old Route 52. Other than that, it's the third iteration of this site plan. I think we're getting a little bit closer. So hopefully I can pull it up and show you.
No.
The other thing, too, is we were in front of the Architectural Review Committee last month. The architectural style remains the same as you've seen before. They wanted us just to play around with some trim sizes, making them a little bit wider, and playing around with just the window proportion in related to the building. But overall, the concepts were agreed upon. It's just working out some details. So we'll be back in front of them next month, but that process is ongoing.
Okay. I think at our last meeting, there was also a question of whether you had advised the DOT yet about the change of use.
Right, so we dropped a plan set off to the permit office, waiting on comments from her. They're a little bit slow right now with getting back to us, but we'll follow up with DOT, and obviously we'll provide you that correspondence with them. When we originally did our overall master development plan, we did incorporate a total build-out on this site, so that entrance did accommodate for an expanded use on the property. We'll forward correspondence as we get it, but we have reached out to the permit office.
Okay.
I think at the last meeting, too, we talked about access around the site. We did add some additional striping and some no parking signs to ensure that with our one-way movements around the site, that there was nobody parking against the building, so that when and if there was a fire, that route would be maintained open. And we added some landscaping details and went with more of a flowering tree and some evergreens to provide shielding to our neighbors. But we did update our SWIP. There's new regulations that came out, so we're updating that accordingly. We're changing the permit over to the new permit as it relates to DEC. That's in process. But from a technical standpoint, just working out some details with the town engineer and Board of Health.
Okay. Any questions or comments from our board members?
Do we have a final location on the pump station?
So we've talked it over internally with the applicant, just to give you an idea. If there is, ever a future connection to help some of the users around the intersection of Route 216, what we were thinking was, I don't know if you can see on the TV there, but here's your intersection. Here's old Route 52, and then you're heading north on 216. We were thinking about putting a manhole right here at the edge of the property that would be able to service the corridor and then angle the sewer line actually back and have the pump station here along the southern property, southeasterly portion of the property. That way there could be one, and if there is, the town could consider this pump station, that there is direct access off of Route 52, and it kind of keeps the components off to the side and allows future connection along the corridor. So preliminarily, that's what we were thinking right now, but subject to change, but I think that's a pretty good spot for it.
Is there going to be any impact on the house that's next to that pump station? Is there going to be, odors coming out or anything?
Most of these pump stations they have odor control on them now. If you do have a power failure, there will be an emergency generator that will kick on. It'll meet your standard DBA requirements for, being in a residential setting. The one good thing about here is, you're on Route 52, you're on 216, it's got three-phase power, it's a major power corridor that supports the area, so when and if power does go out, it's usually restored in a pretty timely manner for what it serves. But we can explore if it is a concern.
Other questions or comments from board members? Any questions or comments from our professional staff? Or our fire advisory group? Okay, well then I'll open it up to the public. If there's any member of the public that's here to speak about the project, you can come to the podium, sign in. If not, I'll accept a motion to go ahead and close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. I think that takes care of us for this evening, if I'm not mistaken.
They definitely open it.
I think so.
Very good.
Did you declare lead agency?
Yes, we did.
Okay, perfect.
Right? We did do that, yes. Yes, we did. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much.
Have a great time.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is an extension for Gasland East Fishkill Wine and Spirits. The applicant is requesting a one-year extension of the resolution of approval. Is there anything to be said about this at all?
Looks like you
Michelle?
have somebody to talk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm just going to.
I had been told that the applicant wasn't here, and I apologize, I wasn't watching. Please go ahead. Okay, great.
Yes, as you said, we're seeking an extension on the approval we received last February. We've been working to address the conditions of the resolution. Primarily, we're waiting on the DOT approval. We've been trying to get through them. They were seeking to get a left turn lane, which they, upon further review, determined would not be necessary. So we're now hopefully moving closer to getting their approval. We have DOH approval, and we've addressed the comments from the town's consultants. So we're hoping to wrap this up quickly, but we need a bit of an extension.
Okay, very good. So if there are no other questions, I'll go ahead and we have a resolution of approval. Name of the site plan is Gasland 376 Wine and Spirits. Name of applicant, Gasland East Fishkill Wine and Spirits. Resolution offered by Planning Board member John Eichman. Whereas the applicant has applied for a change of use from a garage to a mixed-use commercial building and 2 residential units and received Planning Board approval for the amended site plan and change of use on 2/24/24. And whereas the applicant is requesting a 1-year extension of the Planning Board approval, now therefore be it resolved that the Planning Board hereby grants a 1-year extension with the following conditions. That is being, number 1, approval from the Dutchess County Health Department. Number 2, satisfactory resolution of the comments in the CPL review letter dated 12/19/23. Number 3, satisfactory resolution of the comments in the HVEA review letter dated 11/21/23. And number 4, highway work permit from New York State DOT. Be it further resolved that within 5 business days of the adoption of this resolution, the chair or other duly authorized member of the planning board shall cause a copy of this resolution to be filed with the town clerk and a copy sent to the applicant owner. Could I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Board Member Lori G.
Aye.
Ed Miyoshi.
Aye.
Board Member Sarah Bledsoe.
Aye.
Richard Campbell.
Aye.
John Giavagnoli.
Aye.
And John Eichman. I'm an aye. Passes.
And I'm just going to make one minor editorial change. Whereas the applicant is requesting a one-year extension, I'm going to say through to 2026, just so we have the date in there, so it's easier for us to.
Gotcha. Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, and the next item on the agenda, Rising Sky Housing, also a one-year extension. Is there anyone representing the applicant here for that?
Joseph Berger, engineer, just here to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions by board members or by our professional staff or by our fire advisory group? If not, I'll proceed right to the resolution then. Resolution, name of site plan, Rising Sky Housing LLC, contractor building, name of applicant, Rising Sky Housing LLC. Resolution offered by Planning Board member John Eichman, whereas the applicant received site plan approval and an excavation fill special permit per the sections of the East Fishkill zoning code for a contractor's yard located in an I-1 zone on August 15th, 2023. Whereas the site plan was signed on 2/28/25, is that correct?
24, probably, right?
Whereas the site plan was signed on 2/28/24, whereas the applicant is seeking a one-year extension of the site plan approval and excavation fill special permit through 2/28/26. Now therefore be resolved that the planning board hereby approves a one-year extension of the site plan approval and the excavation and fill special permit for Rising Sky Housing LLC through 2/28/26 as represented on the map entitled Rising Sky Housing LLC Contractor Building, prepared by Berger Engineering and Surveying LLC, dated 1/27/23 and last reviewed 7/31/23. Could I have a second for this resolution?
Second.
And a roll call vote. Lori G.
Aye.
Ed Miyoshi.
Aye.
Sarah Bledsoe.
Aye.
Richard Campbell.
Aye.
John Giavagnoli.
Aye.
And John Eichman. I'm an aye. Carries. Thank you. And I believe that on this cold evening, that concludes the business of the planning board. Unless there's anything else to be brought before the board, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Wow. 22 minutes.